so much for staying with us. And of course, this is Nigeria Decides on Plus TV Africa. Well, the much anticipated presidential election is set to happen on Saturday. Have voters been enlightened enough? Have INEC educated staff enough? And even the electorate, do you know enough about how to vote on Saturday? We're going to have that conversation in just a moment.
And
we're joined by Ngozi, Akandu and Raymond Nkannebe. They are both legal practitioners. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this evening.
A pleasure.
Now, the big question is, are Nigerians ready? Are they armed? Are we all armed with enough information by way of voter education to do justice to the ballot paper and to request that our votes count on Saturday? Let me start with you, Raymond.
Oh, thank you very much. I would say, I think Nigerians are ready. Then on the issue of whether they understand the mechanics of going out there to cast their vote, I'll not be so optimistic about that, because many persons in the far-flung corners of this country do not seem to understand how to actually cast their ballot. Because in my experience, we've been involved in some election petition matters, and you get to see number of ballot papers that are voided because of wrong way of thumbprinting on the ballot paper, and a whole lot of other things of that nature. But in any event, INEC has actually been trying to do some publicity, the press, social media, and all of that, to try to sensitize as many persons on how to go out there and cast their vote. And also, the commission has said that on the day of election, at all the polling units scattered around the country, before voting commences, INEC staff will carry out some mock voting exercise, so that persons who are there can also be properly educated. So I think if all this could be done, we can have appreciable development in terms of how people go to cast.
Ngozi, quickly, we now have a 7-step action by INEC saying that step 1, you have to do X, Y, Z. Step 2, you have to follow this, and a whole lot more. Do you think this has been made simple enough for it to be understood by everybody, and those who are illiterate, do you think they would also be able to?
Yeah, I had my friend saying that these are things that could be done, and we just have less than 48 hours. He's hoping. But me, going by what I see, I haven't seen INEC do it enough. I'm an educated man, I know what to do. But where I live, I have not seen any INEC presence. Most of the sensitizations I've been experiencing so far are people coming to campaign. And that is not the job of people who are campaigning to teach us what INEC should teach us. I have had my ears to the ground. I have been observant, looking around. I have not seen INEC coming to where I live, to sensitize people as to how they go about things. I read papers, I read social media, I see a lot of things, going on, but not everybody has access to this thing that I have access to.
Now, what are the components of voter education? Because if we don't even know the parts of or what it should entail, we can't say that INEC hasn't done enough or whether they have. So what does it really cover? What should be done? What should be said? And in what way? And through what means?
Now, at the end of the day, what matters is the votes cast. Now, you have to be able to teach the voters how to cast votes, because like my friend said, we always encounter null and void votes. Now, INEC is not doing enough to, tell people.
Well, that's why INEC has come up with the 7 steps. That first and foremost, you have to queue at, when you get to the polling unit, you're supposed to queue. Then you're supposed to have your, ensure that your PVC matches your face, and then your thumbprint is also checked. And we have that step. So don't you think it's simple enough in a language to be understood by everybody?
Well, if you permit me to weigh in, I don't think this is the first election we're having. Even before now, we had off-the-cuff elections in Osun State, and other states like that. Nigerians have been voting at the same persons who would turn out to vote, except for persons who just became eligible during the last conducted CVR. You understand? So I believe these processes have been in the Electoral Act ever since the Act evolved in 2000. You understand? But the question is the level of awareness that have been given to it. And INEC RNCs have been doing this through the traditional media, the radio stations, the TV station, all of that. People who are in the corners of this country have access to the radio, the media. The National Rotation Agency have been doing a lot of hearing jingles on radio. When you go out there, you can use any of your fingers, queue, get your PVC, get accredited, stay on the queue. When you cast your vote, fold it, put it in the ballot. So these things have been chorused off and on. Just before you
continue, I think it's important for us to focus this conversation because it's really critical. If we're talking about voter education, it's not limited to just casting votes. That's why the earlier question I asked was, what are the components of voter education? What should I even wear? Those are the things we should bring into focus. It's not just limited to casting your vote and leaving. So can we talk about the areas of voter education that should actually form the focus, and that's when we can talk about what has been done and what hasn't been done.
Yeah, there is a lot, involved in, a voter knowing what he or she should do. It's not only about casting votes. We should also sensitize them on being peaceful. And another angle to it is also, we should also tell them that they should be able to protect their votes. When you get to the voting station, the voting officials have, the polling officials have already been, told what to do. Respect them. Follow their instructions. Do what they ask you to do in order for you to have your vote validated. Now, the issue I was raising earlier on is to the effect that some of these things have not been told people in different areas of the society, especially where I come from. I have not seen any INEC official coming around to tell them these little things that we are talking about.
Okay, and that includes the timing when they should even turn out.
I've seen the 2 p.m. thing on
the
social media.
Time.
Yes.
Okay, and possibly what to wear, because of course the no campaigning around polling
you shouldn't
areas.
put anything indicating the party you are supporting. It should be seen on your body, and you shouldn't campaign while on the queue or in the voting.
So essentially, Nigerians don't know enough of all of this.
Now, what do you also expect of the electorate and the average Nigerian who will be casting their vote, especially in areas where we don't see the result of each polling unit being pasted on the wall? Because that's one of the criteria that has to be noted. And if we're supposed to have checks put in place by the electorate as well, what happens next? What do you expect the voters are supposed to do?
I think that was one of the issues that would have been solved if the Electoral Act Amendment Bill was actually signed into law. But then we missed out on the opportunity for one reason or the other that I wouldn't want to weigh in.
Right? And then tomorrow, before the election on Saturday, because I think on Thursday, distributing sensitive materials on Thursday, the gap, are we worried?
Well, I don't think there's always that room for tampering with some of these materials. There's always that.
For example, what if another fire gulps?
There's always that margin of error. So you can't excuse all the possibilities. You understand? That's why we have to just be optimistic and hope that things will go on according to how the commission has planned.
And besides, I expect if there was like 80% security during those periods that we had those fire outbreaks, now there should be 100% security, because now this is the crux. We are the crux of the matter. And so before we go to the next time, in order for us to, I was raising a point. I was trying to say something when we were discussing the issue
inclusion
of
persons with disabilities.
Now it calls to mind what we do sometimes at the ATM centers. Sometimes you meet people at the ATM who don't know how to operate the ATM, but they have their password, which will help them, withdraw money. You assist. Has it got to the point, is it current or savings account? You say current, we say punch savings, or punch current. Now, when it gets to putting your PIN number, I have always turned away.
I do that as well.
Put your PIN number, you turn away to protect the person. This is what I expect them to do for the disabled people. You assist him as much as he could to get to where
Yes.
He will do the voting.
cubicle.
Then you look away, let him do his
I
voting.
think that's
And
what
you
That's
can vote
for
on the
persons
extent of
with
the
visual
disability,
impairment,
yes.
but if it's mobility impairment, then mobility challenges, then
Well, the law makes
Not
provision for
necessarily.
protection. You know, if you are a blind person, you have to have
use braids.
braille. There could be braille, you know, whatever.
Could be, we're not sure.